but the Spire coming up. So GGaemo is going to get ready to fight off any potential Corsairs. Stork's coming down already with a few Zealots. I'm surprised he sent these Zealots out so early because they could easily get surrounded by a large number of Zerglings. But Stork deciding to push this. He's going to push this thinking that GGaemo is not pumping Zerglings, and he's right. GGaemo has only pumped these initial Zerglings, and GGaemo is saving up for something else. But Stork is coming in here to get some economic harassment. GGaemo finally getting out Zerglings. He saw these Zealots come down. But since he's going for these Zerglings, that means he's going to be kind of behind in everything else to deal with the Corsair. So Stork's going to get one Overlord kill before the Scourge come out to deal with it. But GGaemo, Stork is still hanging behind the base. He's not going to let these Zerglings surround him. Oh, this is very smart from Stork, actually, because it's not going to be easy for those Zerglings to get to the Zealots. He'll have about 2 Zerglings at a time attacking him, and that's no good, because the Zealots are going to stay in here and deny the gas. This is actually very smart from Stork, actually. GGaemo's going to need another kind of troop. He's going to need some hydralisk or something to take those Zealots down. Stork, oh, Stork is sneaking out anyway. He could have denied that gas a little bit longer, I think, but he did the job. He took down one gas, so GGaemo is going to try to put down that gas again. He's chasing away the first Corsair with Scourge. But I think Stork was able to get 1, maybe 2 Overlord kills. I'm not sure about that second Overlord, if he got that done or not. But Dark Templar is sneaking down the map already. There is a couple Overlords at the natural. So GGaemo is prepared for this, although 2 Dark Templar in now. So GGaemo is going to be stretched a little bit thin, especially considering that one of his hatcheries, his other base, is so far across the map. This is one of the big flaws I saw in this, even though if the longer you hold on, the stronger this kind of positioning of your bases is. But early on, it's just very tough because GGaemo's not even going to be able to use his 8 o'clock base to pump troops. Stork's still in here, but there is an Overlord in the vicinity. So Stork getting his Dark Templar picked off finally. He took down a few drones, I think about 4 or 5 drones, and that was probably enough to justify that Dark Templar, I think. More gateways coming up. Stork is not pumping Corsairs, so I think the first Corsair was probably to fake GGaemo out, even though GGaemo is going to get the full scout on what's going on now. He's going to see another gateway coming up for Stork. And Stork is definitely going to need all the gateways he can get. One of the strongest Protoss builds I've seen against the Zerg recently is just staying at 2 bases for an absurd amount of time. You just stay in those 2 bases until you get a really powerful army. Then you push out, take your 3rd base at the same time, and then you're barely able to do it usually. Okay, more Hydras coming in. There are only a few cannons, but Stork is coming out here. Are those Zealots +1 attack? They are speed upgraded, so it's definitely enough to push back these Hydras. So GGaemo forced to fall back once again. Eventually, GGaemo will be able to overrun Stork from how many hatcheries he has, but Stork deciding to push this anyway. GGaemo got some nice micro there to throw back his Hydras, just keep them alive. But a couple of Corsairs out for Stork, just picking off Overlords. Those Overlords, I believe, were speed upgraded. Yes, they are. So I think GGaemo is actually thinking about going for a drop. Of course, the speed will definitely help him against Dark Templar too, but Stork coming in, he does have the +1 attack for those Zealots. He's coming in with all of his Zealots. So looking a lot like the backhoe build, because he's coming in, just keeping on the pressure as long as he possibly can. He's pushing back in. GGaemo is kind of forced to use his drones to fight back Stork, but Stork is getting a lot of damage done with these initial Zealots. Another Hydra being stopped, and Stork, in the meantime, he has his Corsairs running around to try to pick off the Overlords. So yeah, GGaemo, he's going to have to keep his Overlords by the Hydras. 1 random Hydra running in, I think just to get the scout and everything. Stork does have his High Templar coming up, and that's going to be able to fight back this Hydra army. That is what GGaemo is going for. He's going for a Hydra break of that front, and it's going to be successful if he gets out enough troops from all of these hatcheries that he has going. Stork, he's getting Storm prepared, losing 1 Corsair. He has 1 Corsair left to pick off the Overlords, but I think the Overlords are going to move up with the Hydras now. And Stork, he's keeping his Zealots at home, not afraid to run with those Zealots. He's decided to run back with them and use them for the defense against this attack, which could work out very well for him, especially if he's going for another upgrade right now, going in with all of his Dragoons. It's going to be close, but I think Stork will be able to defend this, especially since his Templar is still cooking up Storm. And once the storms come out, this might be over for GGaemo. He's still only at 3 bases, not working on his 4th at the moment. But Stork deciding to end this game now. He's coming out with his troop right now. The first-person perspective of Stork. We're going to see some first-person storms, I think, as long as GGaemo decides to attack this army. Stork, you see, he's going out with his Corsair. Stork is, interestingly, one of the old players with low APM that still performs extremely well. He has about 280, 290 average APM. Compare that to players like Bisu, who has about 400 APM. But the good thing about Protoss is that you don't need that high of an APM anyway. You just need razor-sharp precision of every single move you make in the game, because every unit counts for a Protoss army. And GGaemo is going to try to do the surround of this troop. He has a bunch of Hydras out, and he's still working from those 3 bases, but he lost an awful lot from the initial push of Stork. And here comes a surround, I think. Here comes a surround from GGaemo. We'll see if Stork can hold out in time. He's got to protect those High Templar. The High Templar will help him fight this off, but here come the storms from Stork. Another storm in there. I think he will try to get rid of the lurkers that are over here. A nice storm from Stork, ripping through all of the Hydras. I don't think he could have stormed much better at all there, picking off all of the Hydras, and GGaemo might have just lost his entire army. I don't see any more troops out for GGaemo except for that one lurker that went down, but Stork is still in here picking off hatcheries. He's picking off that one hatchery at the front, and he's going to try to come in and kill all of the production. This is the closer I was talking about in Jangbi versus Quanro. GG from GGaemo. I like how GGaemo's name has GG at the front. GG GGaemo. GG. Easy mode, Stork. Let's move on to the second set.